What's up, Derby World, and welcome to episode 9 of Beast and Bake Derby Talk podcast. How you going, Nath?
Oh, I'm great this week. The internet's fixed. She's ready to rock and roll.
And we're on our last episode before the live Gummy Bear episode, which is she's going to be rough. Did we officially move that to the Saturday now?
Yeah, so we'll crank it on the 27th.
Yep, I'll have to fix that up and just let everyone know what's going on. So we don't have any disappointed fans on the Friday night that want to see us in pain. But so in this episode, we're going to be talking to South Australian legend Geoff Flack. I'm really been looking forward to this one. I've followed Geoff's career for as long as I've been doing it, so it's good to actually finally get to have a chat with him. We're going to talk some stuff about the association and all that's going on there, review some derbies from South Australia, and pretty much go from there. Nate, you want to give us an update, mate?
Yeah, so with the ADDA, we had a meeting this week, good meeting. Set a lot of things in stone and everything. Another good thing that come from that is all our merch is ordered. So it will be coming in very, very soon. And don't forget the shirts have gone up on the website as well. So get in there, order your shirt. So you get it nice and quick and be one of the first ones to have a shirt. Probably a big thing on that too. Congrats to Rice Hack on becoming the QLD rep. So anyone from Queensland, you can see Rise about anything you need. He can be a spokesperson. You can also come to us as well. But yeah, another big thing that's come from us is a accommodation deal for Tullamore Show. So it's a Discovery Holiday Park in Dubbo. Shane's actually nailed us a 25% discount on normal tariffs for a 2-night stay. So it's a 2-bedder, sleep 6, full kitchen, got everything you need to cook, TV, aircon, fan. You got a barbecue, your own veranda. So that's for any ADDA member. So just contact Shane for that, and he'll help you do that. But yeah, it's just some big things moving forward for us. So pretty excited to see the future.
The idea behind that is, we understand there's a big outlay for the first cost of the memberships and that. But if you think about it, it's $125 you're saving just by that one discount that you're getting. So you're pretty much paying for your membership just there. And it's our intention to do that for every major Demolition Derby event or any event where there's multiple members going. We'll chase up those accommodation deals and try and help out the members as much as possible, which is something that's been lacking from derbies for a long time, is having other people out there to help organise that and not make everyone pay $1 million for their just stay in a place, and road trips and stuff like that cost a fortune if you don't do it right.
Yeah, well, that's right too. It's not always the inside the derby that's the killer as well. It's everything outside the box. So that's something that we're all about as well. So it's not always just about derbies. It's everything around derbies too that we're aiming to sort of help with and make it a much easier progression to keep the sport alive.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're all part of the derby community. If we can get it cheaper for everyone, then we will. And that applies for South Australia and Victoria and Queensland as well, because realistically, all I do is search the area that we're in and contact those hotels and make those connections with the people and make the phone calls that actually get us those deals. And generally, businesses are quite happy to have that relationship with associations. So that's a plus, and that's a big plus on our half.
I suppose another thing pretty big moving forward, how are you feeling? 10 weeks away. USA.
Yeah, 10 weeks. I've been chatting with the boys in America, gearing up. We got the Simple Solution is the business with Devon Schmidt that are going to be building my car, and the demo boys are building Critty's car. So we're going to both be in Crown Vic sedans, big V8s. So no idea how I'm going to go in that because I'm a terrible driver in rear-wheel drives. So it should be interesting to see.
Yeah, sounds exciting.
Yep. Well, let's see. You're going to have to start winning some derbies and get on that leadership board higher. At the moment, there's no one on there. There's no points yet because there's been no members that have done a derby yet. So it's wide open to see who's going to take it out. Tullamore is going to be the first derby where members are going to collide. So I'm looking forward to seeing the leadership board jump up, and Geoff's in charge of the South Australian one, so he's going to be giving us the points from that. So the crazy part is you could have a South Australian driver you've never met and a Queensland driver winning the competition to go overseas and represent us. So we don't know whether, because I've never derbied against South Australian boys, they could be 10 times better than us. Like we went to State of Origin and the Queensland boys built their cars better than ours and gave us a good whooping. That was awesome to see.
Yeah, well, I suppose sort of moving forward, we may as well bring the legend from South Australia on, eh?
Yep, let's bring Geoff Flack on right now.
So Geoff Flack is our South Australian representative. Welcome.
How you doing, fellas? Pleasure to be here.
We had some difficulties
You've got
getting
lots
you
of
on
exciting stuff happening.
It's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Sorry, I missed that.
See, all of our receptions are a little bit off here, so this is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's going to be interesting to see who's got the worst internet connection.
Hopefully not me this week.
Yeah, courtesy of the Telstra. Well, I'm on Starlink, so it's all right here. Elon Musk has got me sorted. So, Geoff, we'll start off strong, mate. Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, I can hear you at the moment.
Yep. All right. So, can you tell me just what inspired you to get involved in demolition derbies and how long you've been doing it?
I started in about 2011. I'm a late bloomer. My wife was friends with all the derby crowd, and we were just going along to watch a jumps race. And I jokingly said to one of the blokes that I've got an old car here. I'll bring that and use it. And they turned around and said, "We got this creation called the Mazlika." It was a Celica cross with the Mazda, and they donated that car. And it didn't go too well. You had to twist some wires together and then touch some other wires to get it to start. And I got into the chute, and that's where the bloody thing died, and I couldn't get it started again. And so the officials pushed me around for 2 bloody laps. I got pushed to the infield, didn't get to do a jump, and it was enough to get me hooked. That was it. I've missed one derby in all these years since then. I've never done a jumps race, though. I didn't like the look of them when I seen the other guys hit the jumps. But, haven't missed a derby really since. Only one.
I've seen a few of the photos that you guys put up of those jump races. They look insane. So when was your actual first demolition derby, like car crashing one?
That was probably Murray Bridge. It would have been 2011. I just basically got in my teammate's way all the time. And then I got the car bogged on next to the infield on the lip. And that was the end of that derby. It probably took me a good year and a half before I actually had a car that was smashed up enough that I was happy with. Took a bit of learning.
That happens. That happens to all of us, unfortunately.
Speaking on smashed up cars, what is your favourite car to smash up?
I got to say it's Magnus. I made the mistake. I was got a reporter doing an interview one time, and I made the mistake saying to them after the interview that, I bloody love Magnus. I'm the Magna King. And when she did the bloody bit in the paper, guess what the headline was? The Magna King. So I guess I've got to own it.
I saw the wagon that you had with Derby King on the front of it. I was like, yep, I've got to have him on. We've got to talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was all the wife's idea, that decoration.
It seems
she saw the vision.
You've got a decent success rate over there. I'm swearing you're nearly in the top 3 every time.
Yeah, it comes down to you put the work in, you do, if you go to all the events, sooner or later you get a bit of luck. I have plenty of bad luck as well. I've died in the chute, I've died in the pits, but yeah, I've been lucky because I don't overbuild my cars. I don't weld them up. I'm pretty slack when it comes to building. I do know a few of the secrets, and that's because of the team that I joined. Like I didn't have that learning curve. I got straight onto the good builds. I just had to learn how to drive them.
Through your derby career, what's your most memorable moment, if you had to pick one?
It was probably winning the SA versus NT state title the first time, because that year I went up by myself, and I think there were 17 cars on the track or something, and we were just expecting to get our tail handed to us. And we spent a lot of time decorating that car because I thought, at least I might get best presented. And ended up at the end of that, they came up and said, you've got best presented, car causing most damage, and the last car running. But you could only pick one. You could only have one. And up there, the car causing most damage has the most prize money. And the last car running is sort of like second place. But second place, last car running, there's a perpetual trophy, so your name goes on that forever. So that's what I picked. It's the best trophies to have. Something.
Is it a bloody glass?
You can actually use.
It's not a bad idea.
You should see the one that I'm ordering for the Queensland state title when we're allowed to announce it. The trophy's like 5 foot tall. It's the most inconvenient trophy I've ever saw. I'm definitely buying. I just want to see someone being like, "Oh, thank you," and then go, "That's not going to my car."
Yeah, you're going to need a horse bloke to take the trophies to the track.
Yeah, guarantee you, everyone's going to love the photo ops with the thing, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, what makes you continue to derby? You've been doing it for a while now.
Yeah. I still just love smashing cars. I love doing hits. I love getting hit. I've always been one in the driver's briefs when they used to go, don't waste your time hitting dead cars. I'd always step forward and go, if you want to hit someone that's not moving, if I'm not moving, hit me. I just love being hit. And there was also the when you're with a team, if you can talk people into hitting your dead car, that's one less hit your teammates have to do too.
That's true, and people make mistakes when they hit cars as well, especially dead ones. They tend to snap their own stuff off.
It's definitely a feeling, nothing like anything else. It's like driving a derby car.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I used to have cameras inside the car with me, and I had to stop doing it because all I can hear is me going, "Woo, yeah!"
I actually did watch one of the videos we're reviewing tonight. You railed some poor bugger in a Valiant wagon, and as you're driving off, you can hear him going, "Wow!" I was like, I'd love to have the in-car camera to see what he'd have been doing. Because he'd have been fist pumping and everything.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm assuming you're on the Demolition Derby page, and you would have seen what State of Origin was like. Can you tell me your thoughts on that?
On your State of Origin?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some cool shit, mate. Like, I agree the cars were a little one-sided in the builds, but as I think I've heard you say, Shane, the New South Wales lads didn't read the rules quite enough.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. You've gone to their home turf. It'd be good if they could come to your home turf like the following time sort of thing, but yeah, like when we did a red v blue derby over here, and that was some cool fun to have 10 people on the team all working together. We lost that as well.
Yes.
Oh, maybe it's the colour. Maybe it's the colour.
Could be. Yeah, I should have went red.
See, the problem with the New South Wales boys is that I'm pretty sure I was the only one in the team that had gone up to Queensland previously, and I'm saying to them all, It's not like a normal derby, boys. You've got to build them properly. But until you've actually gone up there and you hit a car and go, oh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Like you just rail a panel van in the wheel and it doesn't move and you go, uh-oh, I'm in trouble here.
They're a bit like the Northern Territory SA state titles. Like, you don't get sandbaggers in it. It's just people are just you're either taking people out or you're getting wiped out yourself. If you sit still for a second, she's all over.
Well, you know better than I think mine and your driving styles are very similar. That it's like a chess game, and when that derby started, there was stuff in normal derbies where people make mistakes and they get themselves in spots. There was none of that. I was looking for mistakes and trying not to put myself in a bad spot, but the moment I did, I went, yep, this is a good shot to do. There was someone already on me, and there was nothing you could do. It was just such a high level of drivers out there.
And people act differently when they're in a team. They see one of their teammates about to be drilled, so they get ready to line them up and return the shot straight away.
100%. I always regret, one of my derby regrets is I never got to bring the kamikazes over to play with the Off Your Guts boys. I would have loved to have seen that back in the prime.
Yep.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to enjoy watching all your vids as well. Like.
Yeah. So
how many derbies do you guys in New South Wales have a year?
Oh, the over 30.
Yeah. Right. Wow. Like that's 3 years worth of derbies here when we're in our prime doing all the venues were pumping.
Yep. Yeah, well, I'm roughly doing about 10 a year, but I'd love to. It's in my goals to go over to South Australia and take you guys on. I'm just trying to find one of your tracks that aren't soaking wet. Every time I watch the derbies, it's like soaked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an issue for a long time. They did one dry derby there, and they got scared, I think, from the hits that were pulled off. I think all the drivers were fine with it. It was just the venue that got worried.
Yeah, so that's probably a good transition. But a future thing in the, fingers crossed, would be something that we're going to organise, something to do with like border wars. So instead of just like state versus state, it's going to be every state versus every state.
Yep.
So, thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I've been sitting around thinking about it. It'd be all right if we could get some thing together where we had 3 of the best from each state or whatever, and all in the one derby, or grudge matches, 3v3, and
that is something we're definitely. Whoop, and Jeff's gone for a second, and we're just waiting, and there he goes.
Andy's back.
Yeah, so that's definitely something we're building towards. I think like the way the momentum has been since City versus Country, it's been just City versus Country, now State of Origin, now the international one to America. Now we want to get all the representative drivers to start working on their side of the states and that. Like I've never been more excited about what's happening in derbies than right now.
Yeah. I was a bit not happy when I had to sort of take a step back with all my treatment and stuff. It was like, what a time to do it.
Oh, that was very bad time because you were very, very high up on the list. I was like, take Geoff over and we'll rip into him.
Yeah, I was keen for it. Like even after I said no, me and the wife were still talking about it for a couple of days there, and it was knowing what I know now. Like I can barely if I back him the lounge at the moment, I've got to sit down for like 40 minutes. So yeah. I know I wouldn't have had it in me, unfortunately, this time. But it gives me something to work for.
I don't know if you've seen those derbies, but they're like an hour long just in the heats. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be fucking like mad.
Yeah, imagine not being full strength doing that.
We'd have to take a camel pack with a drink in it.
I think they actually have. I watched one the other day. I don't know what class it's in. It's like this. They basically just rip the cars out and go. But the person had a drink holder still there. They had a drink in there, Mountain Dew, and they're like, sprayed everywhere. But I don't know if you've seen this on the page or not, but I just wanted to show you guys because there's not many things in derbies these days that surprise me, but this was one of the coolest things I've seen.
It was a very awkward shot.
That tyre really stitched him up, eh?
It's kind of like, well, the tyre went into the car, but then you can see the it's like a bulldozer or something there, and it's just sort of scooped up under it. But imagine what an awkward feeling that would be, because normal rollover is just like, whoa, and that's pretty much it. But
that's like an inverted rollover.
Like, that blew my mind.
I love the crowds in the background there. That's mad, isn't it?
Oh, Bristol's supposed to. There's like 180,000 people that can fit in that stadium, so that's going to be incredible.
We can't even get our heads around that, mate. Until you get there and see that, none of it. You'll tell us about it, but none of us will understand. Like,
nah, and even when we were at Toowoomba, it was like 5,000 people there or something. Like,
and it was loud.
It was loud as shit. When we drove out and they booed us, I could hear it over I didn't even know if my motor was still going. I was like, and then when Queensland got cheered when they came out, that was just loud as anything.
Yeah,
it's a different. I'm not sure I don't know whether the South Australia and Northern Territory one is as venomous, but the origins up here.
Yeah, the crowd's pretty good up there. Like the derby that I won up there. We built the car, me and Gino Gilby, and on the way to the track, he drove by the Alice Springs Metal Recyclers yard, and they donate a lot of the cars for the South Australians and for the NT blokes. And we drove fast, and we all hanging out the window going, "You're dead, I'm going to wipe you all out." And we went and unloaded the car, and we're like, "What do we do?" Well, we'll go back and help those local lads out, see what they're doing. And when we get there, Gino comes up and he goes, "Oh, the big Kiwi bloke just came over to me and he's like, oh, that South Australian bloke, we're going to fuck him up like he's smart, cunt." Excuse the language. And Gino's like, "Yeah, that's him over there painting your bonnet, mate." Like, so they went from being like, they were going to get me full on, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll just wipe him out. It's okay."
Yeah. I don't know what it is. There seems to be like a grudge for each state. Like, I guarantee you, if we went over to South Australia, you'd have a giant target on your back. When I was planning on going there a little while ago, I was like, I'm just going to rock up with a car with no paint on it and see, because no one would recognise me. Just rock up and go start ripping in. Or just sit in the pit. When you were doing the there was one that you were doing up there that was a decent derby, and they're like bringing it up, and I'm like, I'd love to rock up with a car not painted, sit in the pits, paint my car black, and then put pink beast on the side of it and see whether anyone says anything, or kamikaze. So yeah, well, let's get back to it, because I start talking derby shit and I lose track of time. What's the biggest difference you see between South Australian derbies and derbies everywhere else?
Oh, geez, stumped for an answer. I hate leaving dead spaces and things. From what I see, like, there's a lot less. There's a lot of whinging and that goes on from my way, mate.
Yep, that's me
too. I suppose everyone that probably says that I'm in amongst it all the time, because I've been the promoter at that Murray Bridge, trying to help them get all these events run right and everything. You try to call out the people when they were sandbagging, get them to put on a good show, and I don't see much of that going on in the other states. Like, there's usually always a drama after a derby here. There's somebody carrying on about something. Like, and when I go away to other states, like, you go up to Alice, you smash with everybody, you leave the car on the track, you don't touch it that night. You just get straight on the piss, and you end up back at somebody's place. There'll be a big barbecue, everybody parties. You go back to the track the next day about 9 o'clock, take your cars off the track. But it's all friendly. We went over to Perth, and everyone opened their arms up, and everyone was friendly to us. Of course it's different as soon as the green light drops, but everyone seems a lot more friendlier. But that comes down to the tall poppy thing, I suppose. When you're not competing with people all the time, you're not competition, are you?
Yeah. I think it happens everywhere, to be honest. But I feel like ours, everyone talks a lot of shit before the Derby, but following the Derby, that's pretty much it. Like, everyone's either you've just got your ass whooped or they've solved it all. Like, the issues are out on the track, and then that's where it stays. But before it, I can tell you there's always a lot of smack talking. But, yeah, generally everyone sort of gets it out on the track and rips in, which is what it's all about at the end of the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a bit of banter before the derbies.
Yeah. Like, I definitely understand the tall poppy syndrome. Speaking as someone that's won their fair share of derbies, you do start making enemies that way, unfortunately. But
it helps the time. Hey, yeah. I went to a Millicent Derby years ago, and my car had a broken reverse. Like, every time you go to select reverse, probably 1 every 10 times it would go into gear. The other time it would just lock up and you wouldn't have any reverse. And I had 13 people at this one derby that were all targeting me. And I would have been stuck 2 minutes into the derby, but they kept hitting me and I'd wiggle my way free. And at the end of the day, I won that derby and I didn't even have reverse in my car. And the only reason I won it was because of my haters.
It comes in handy. My driving style, because I've been chased for so long, is ducking and weaving and moving. If I don't get chased, I make so many dumb mistakes. Like, if there's no one chasing my front end, I'm not paying attention. I get hit everywhere. So it's a different animal. If you're not getting chased, you just rock up and you're like, what do I do now? But so you are the South Australian rep for the association. What's your thoughts on the association, the ideas, and the events planned for the future in relation to it?
I think they're awesome, mate. It's great to see some fresh blood in there. All these new ideas rocking around. People in every state's talking about it. I know people in Perth and Northern Territory, like, there's lots of people talking about it. They might not have all joined up yet, but they're all talking about it. And you've got to start somewhere. You've got to crawl before you can walk. And it can only be a good thing. Like,
yeah, that's 100%. Getting all the states together, like, it's the wonders of the internet that we can actually achieve, like, these dreams and that. But if we get a solid organisation that covers all of Australia, like, that's something that we've all dreamed of. And you've got a proper Australian championship then, rather than just, the local show calls at the Australian Championship. Well, you don't have anyone from another state coming. But now we've got members in South Australia, Victoria, Queensland and New South Wales. So we've just got to get the other ones, and then we're on board.
That's it. And then we can, you can start doing things a bit like what you're doing with going to America. The association guys can go, right, we're hiding an event over here. We're going to build 3 cars. You guys bring 3 blokes. And then we build 3 cars. And then you guys bring 3 blokes next time.
That's
and that can save a lot of that can save a lot of the travels and stuff.
Yeah, it's 1,000% what we're looking to do, that kind of stuff. We've made those connections with the Americans as well, which is fantastic. We've made the connections with Impact Motorsports in Canada as well, which is really cool as well. The more you get that stuff, it's a lot better than going, Shane Ryan's organised this and this. It's going, look, this association that covers all of Australia is organising this. So if you want a derby in South Australia, I'll talk to our rep and see what we can organise there. Or you want to go to Northern Territory, let's organise a rep there and we'll get that sorted. All of those things are building towards something that if I started in derbies now, it would blow my mind, because back in the day, like, you've been around almost as long as me, that this just wasn't a thing.
No. Like, the Murray Bridge Speedway has been talking about trying to get the drivers forming an association type thing for a few years now. And sorry, but I just, I don't have it in me. You guys, you've seen the troubles we had tonight with the modern technology trying to get me down there. But you're a whiz with it. I've seen some of the things that you just throw together and whack them up, and they look awesome. Like, if you know how to use it.
I think Stax is probably the MVP of our team when it comes to organising that kind of stuff. I struggle with my phone sometimes. So
I don't even do most of my noms, mate. I get the wife to do it.
Well, I hate the pre-nomination stuff. Unfortunately, it's something that we have to do, and probably going to be a mainstay for the association derbies too, just because of licensing and stuff like that. But that's something we can work on in the future too. But yeah,
the biggest headache we've had with noms in South Australia is like Murray Bridge. They'll have a derby. You get your nom form, you download it, you got to fill it out, and then you got to print it and email it back, sort of thing. Instead of with the smaller places, we just get them to do an online thing. Hit that, hit the link, return, it's all done. Murray Bridge, the email system loses.
That's how it's going to be for the the Queensland title. It's all going to be through the actual website, so you can buy your stuff through there, fill it out, and get rid of it. I hate signing stuff, trying to find a scanner and sending it through. It's just not the way.
Yeah, that'll make life a lot easier for a lot of people that aren't up to it.
It also helps with it because obviously if you're a member, you get cheaper entry into demolition derbies that we run. Having it through the website makes it so you go, oh, well, you're a member, you log in, and then you go through and sort your nominations out, which would be a pain to try and sort that through when you got a 30-car derby and you're like, oh, who's a member, who's not?
Yeah. No, it's gonna solve a lot of issues, I reckon. Yeah.
So, what made you get involved with the association?
Well, it's just somebody had to put their hand up, mate. There's not a lot of people that are willing or got time, it seems, to want to put it in. And I was happy to get in and do whatever help I can to get the word out as well. And, I'd like to help be part of making a success. And, I liked it. Like I said, I like all the ideas, the leaderboard and all that. We did the South Australian one for the last 2 years, and it's amazing what people will do for a few points, mate. It's pretty funny.
Not only that, too,
paying other drivers to take other drivers out and all sorts just to protect their points.
Like sometimes it just takes that one bloke to leap forward, and then you'll have 20 people behind him too. Like it's just takes that one person to take the leap, and then everyone's like, "Oh, see, it's pretty good."
Yep.
100%. I expect with Geoff being on board that the South Australian drivers they trust Geoff and they can talk to him and say, look, this is what we want. Can we do something about it? And like I said, the fact that we've got a great relationship with Toowoomba Speedway, which is the sister speedway to Murray Bridge, we can have those connections and talk to them as well. So I know Ryan's definitely on board with the association, which is good. But yeah, that's all stuff that we can work on in the future. Definitely want to try and talk to them and say, look, stop watering the frigging track.
Yeah, every time like the Speedway Australia rep is like, I want the Derby over in 5 minutes. I hate this shit. And then they get the water truck going around for 20 minutes and it takes 5 minutes just to get the cars to the wall.
Yeah. See, I mean, Derby's one of those things where if you love it, you love it, and if you hate it, then you hate it. And a lot of places have always looked down on derbies. Like, I don't know if you have the issues in South Australia with the horse people and that. It shows that they don't like derbies and stuff like that. That's why it was one of the main reasons me and Nath were looking at the association is to go, look, bugger the horse people. Let's just run our own events. We'll hire a venue and we'll make an entire day of it. Like, it's not beyond us to go, we're gonna hire out a venue in New South Wales. Let's bring Geoff over and let him rip in. Like stuff like that. Like it's definitely not
control.
Yeah, it's not beyond the realm.
Cool, wouldn't it?
Oh, mate, I can tell you from our derbies over here, you'd probably blow your mind to see the size of the tracks.
Let's have a look at the Speedway track. It used to be Sydney that had that big lip on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
And that used to be pretty good to roll cars with, by the looks of it.
Yeah. Just to explain to everyone, this is a derby I watched. I believe it's Murray Bridge. What I was saying about the this was in March, I believe, and Geoff was in this one in the coolest painted car I've ever seen.
Oh, this was right. Yep.
I think
But
he
you
had
can
like
tell it's
a.
wet because everyone just went straight to the bottom.
Oh, it's,
Yeah,
whoever
you
wet
got no
that.
option.
Look at it. Like, you know how much better that derby would be if it wasn't wet?
Here on the middle of the front straight away.
You couldn't get in. Like my car was like running on 3 cylinders. It was a bit of a disappointment, but the guy that painted it for me, like he spent months painting it. It was immaculate.
Here we go.
Haven't seen it on the screen yet.
I'll just clarify because my wife just messaged me. The coolest painted car I've seen in South Australia. Bonnie still paints the best cars.
Team cars out there that may end up working together.
Yeah, there was a lot of work put into that one.
Off your guts, 23.
I can't remember actually he's on the videos here, but
All right, let's see.
you want to tell me the story about that bloody painted car, Jeff?
Yeah, well,
I believe you got screwed out of
that was Neil Kemp. Neil Kemp was his name. He used to do derbies many years ago, and he's got a lot of health problems, and that came up. But he wanted to be part of the world record, so he painted the car up, and he brought that car, and he'd do the formation lap, and then he pulled the infield. And then he brought it back the next year, and he was going to do that again, and then he was too crook to do it. His wife hopped in it and did that. And then the following year after that, they were both too crook, and they sold the car to me. This derby was actually supposed to be the record attempt again. That's what it was advertised as, but they didn't get enough cars for it, so they just turned it into this sort of a derby.
Yeah, from memory, it was only advertised like a month before or something like that.
Plenty of action down there towards turn.
Yeah, they're a bit slack with the advertising at times.
The first time I seen you guys do the record attempt, I mean, it was everywhere. It was all over Australia. We knew it was coming.
But there was radio interviews, TV commercials. There was constant things coming on Facebook. But yeah, I'm not sure why the ball's been dropped lately. But oh yeah, there it is. It was, yeah, I couldn't get any speed up. But what I should have done with that car was I should have took it to the car museum up here and donated it to them. But I was pissed off because it didn't go very well.
That was a Ford Festiva or something?
That one?
Yeah.
No, that was a Kia or something, I reckon.
Oh, really?
No, a Daewoo, that's what it was.
Oh, Daewoo Lanos, that was right.
Yeah, I reckon.
The little Corona sedan wouldn't be too bad. It's struggling to freaking get anywhere on that wet track.
Yeah, rear-wheel drive's like very hard to get any grip or going in the rear-wheel drive there. There it is.
There's a lot of work put into that paint job.
He painted inside everywhere on the car, all the interior on the roof, in the boot well, and where the spare tyre went, under the dash, like everywhere. It was crazy.
Wow. Did you say that you didn't win the best presenter for that one?
I didn't know. This derby, this is what happened in this derby was I got called for winning best presented, and I've got the derbies mixed up. They just gave it to somebody else in this one. The derby before, they called me for best presented over the thing, and then they gave the trophy to somebody else afterwards instead.
Yeah, the right rear looks a little bent, I could say. I think he's not going to.
So there's a lot of mechanical damage happening in this because it's so wet. The cars aren't actually folding. But like wheels and stuff get locked. That annoys the crap out of me. I hate wet derbies.
Look at this, it's like synchronized dancing down here in the front.
It's like the guy in the other Offie Guts car there, that's Byron. He came over from Perth to run for it in a derby. He built a car in that 23. And he got car causing most damage because he just basically held it on the limiter for the whole time.
I think that's what
so
you need to do.
I was sitting in a car that would barely rev to like 3,000 revs, and my other car was on the limiter the whole time, just sloshing around me. I picked the wrong one.
Was it raining there, or was that deliberately that wet?
That's deliberately that wet. There was no rain that day.
That's terrible. Are you allowed to run rallies or no?
You can, yep. But no one had them, I don't think, for the small cars. we've all got them for our Magnus and stuff.
So right now, very few cars.
Chainsaw and
actually out of
grooving.
this one.
Gee, Brendan
Yeah,
Westgate
chainsaw and
was
groove it.
going pretty good. In the 902 and
Unfortunately, with derbies like this, it's just like a bumper car action, isn't it?
Just list the whole
You
Yeah.
don't really get highlight reel shots or anything in these ones because it's just.
And it's really hard to be entertaining as well when the derby's
Obviously,
that
some
wet.
sort
Like
of significance,
at the end of the
but,
day, everyone wants
he's
to see a
looking pretty
big
good.
hit.
The
That's what you
23
go there
Byron
for.
Low-Buyer,
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it really hard.
he's still going.
My thing is, if you can use your car again, then you've done something
Flappy's
wrong.
got a bumper hanging off,
But not
it's
only that
stopping
too, like a
him.
wet derby, I still believe that a wet derby is 10 times more dangerous than a dry derby.
Oh, 100% hits in the door and stuff like that. You're going to have to move closer to the camera, Nathan. I can barely hear you.
Bumper hanging off or the bumper cover.
The last Open Derby I did there, I got black flag to come second, but I got black flag because I hit a door. And the car I was aiming for, he was up near the wall. But by the time I got to him, he'd slid down and I'd slid down. We all both made contact down that bottom bit.
No, he's not.
So they're like,
It's hard.
you know, you can hit the brakes, but you don't stop. You just keep going at the same speed you're at.
And I always remind everyone the rule is intentionally hitting drivers' doors.
Yep.
If you hit a driver's door, well, that's why we reinforce the driver's door. Accidents happen, but if you're intentionally doing it, well, that's a disqualification. I hate the ones where you just bump up against the car door and they disqualify you. Did you? Oh, the Grim Reaper just cut my line off.
I just lost the mask off me, bloody little sting on the roof.
I love how it's on like a big bouncy thing, so it just goes at the car when you hit it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scarecrow. I stole the design off of Google, put it on a spring, and yeah.
Like he's got the front wheel drive car because otherwise he'd be.
Oh, Byron's having a bit of fun, and he's just driving forward 1,000 miles an hour.
He had a ball. He does in every derby he's done so far. He basically gets a car causing most damage in each one.
You guys definitely need to come over this way and do a derby.
Yep.
I'd love to see you come over here.
Byron's a very keen derby bloke. Like, it cost him $1,000 to get a car over in WA.
Really?
Yeah. Like, but they don't have any like U-Port over there where people can go and get parts off a car, so he can make he makes a bit of money back from selling bits and pieces, but it's a lot more expensive over in WA. So he flies over at least once a year to do a derby over here because they don't have enough derbies over there.
You've definitely got to come over this way for a derby. If we do the 3 versus 3 teams, you need to find another driver, you and Byron and someone else, and come over this way.
Yep. Yeah.
So the
trips when you go away are the most fun. Like,
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's not hard to find cars here. Like I've got another 3 to pick up that are freebies.
For some of us, it's not hard to find cars.
Yeah, I'm more in the bush than Nathan is. So out this way, people just drop cars off. I've got 3 to pick up for free.
The problem is
sneaking past the wife.
Is there's about 20 derby drivers that live within a 20k radius of each other, so it's just like seagulls when one turns up.
Seems to still be able to drive that car relatively well.
See, over my way, there's just no scrappies, so people just need to get rid of cars.
We haven't come down our long. We've got a 2k driveway. And we have scrap trucks come down the driveway just looking. Like they're just constantly driving around hunting for cars, the buggers.
What do you get for a scrap car of your way?
At the moment, it's about $180 a tonne, $200 a tonne, somewhere around there.
There's the 22 on screen.
See, the problem is, I get about $600 to $700 for a crashed Camry.
So who's left? Flacky.
Yep.
Flacky still going?
So like we've got to compete with that on a non-crashed Camry. It's almost impossible.
He's been down
Yeah.
into the racetrack for quite
Nate, you definitely got to get close to that camera, mate.
Oh, he's looking for a hit. I reckon he's
I got
lined up,
AirPods.
Kempy. He's got it.
But they're not helping us.
There we go.
You sound like you're in a hallway.
That's solidly. In fact, he's out of bounds.
It's because I'm in an empty room.
Yeah, he's just bunted him past the tractor tyre.
Yeah, the issue, like up this way, we get maybe $50 for a car.
Is that an automatic
It's for scrap.
exclusive if you're outside
So
the bounds?
that's
Or
why everyone just gives them for free, and that's about it.
So as long as you get back up, don't give yard.
Like I've got a few to pick up, and then I'm going to help build one for the school up this way, and with a few of the students. So that's the thing we're doing through a youth program up this way. So get the young fellas in it. So
Yep.
Lindsay Farrell, he's not panicking.
Yeah, well, cars are getting a bit dear over here. I'm known for not buying non-running vehicles. Like I don't touch cars if they don't run normally. I'm not the guy that changes, puts a motor or anything in things. But I actually bought a Magna the other week, $400, a wagon that needs a gearbox in it. So, my how times change.
it's easier to pull the whole motor and box out than it is to change the gearbox and the bloody things.
Yeah, right.
Rip the whole thing out, put another one in. I had a shocker trying to do the same thing. I ended up giving up and just giving it to Al. I said, "Just smash it. I don't want to see that thing again." So by the time you put everything back in there, if you're one cog out, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
The three that are currently on screen, the 22.
I think I am going to go down the route of only running cars that are running too. Just
it's so much easier. And most of the time you can find a car that's running for the same price as what you'll find when it's not.
Oh yeah, 100%. It depends what it is. If it's a panel van or a ute or something like that, it's rare to get them that are running. I notice you guys don't run a lot of them up your way.
Can't believe Kempy's still going.
We used to at the start. There was lots of panel vans and utes everywhere, Vals and Falcons. Then we started using Magnas, and like our team captain, the first time he took a Magna to Murray Bridge, he had 3 Val wagons coming at him, and he spun the car around and took the hit on the boot every time, and he took 3 hits in 40 seconds. Like you can't turn around in a rear-wheel drive car that quick on these sort of tracks and that. And from that point on, like we have derbies now that are just all Magnas.
That's pretty much what it is here too. It looks like old mate here's won this derby, the Mexican.
Yeah.
Who's that?
What a performance! What a great job.
Hayden Gazinski.
Hayden Gazinski.
He's he comes third the first year or something, and second in the state titles this year.
There he is doing the bonnet dance. Hayden Gazinski.
See, the cool part about the association is a lot of the boys didn't realise these have state titles and stuff like that. Like, you know how many people said, "Oh, but South Australia doesn't have rep derbies." So I said, "They bloody do. I've watched them."
Yeah, well, my team comes from Alice Springs to start with. So when Shannon moved down and he started derbies up and getting the team going down this way, the other teammates up north they all work together and come up with this state title, and it was a good way to catch up each year. And we go up, we probably get there like 6 to 7 days before the event. And then we find a car, strip a car, build it, paint it, smash it up, strip it out the day after the derby, and head back home the following day. It's 1,500 K sort of thing each way.
This is your state titles here, I believe, the South Australia versus Northern Territory one.
Yep.
Not sure.
Yeah, it's me in the red car, Lightning McQueen there.
The Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
In a Magna, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the time I thought I was going to get wiped quick smart, and it was going to be no fun. But it was pretty good.
You just got pumped at the start. He lasted about 3 seconds before he got hammered in the front. Not that you, the other one. It's still so wet up there. That's the biggest detractor of the derbies up that way is how wet they make the tracks.
Well, and Alice is a bit different. Like we had a big storm up there one time, and the track was legitimately 3 inches underwater, and it was still grippy like a dry track.
God, old mate's headhunting. He's going forward early as hell.
He's just pinging.
That's what they do up there, mate. I remember the second year I went up there. The first year I rolled Tonto, their big hitter. And the second year, about a minute into the Derby, he hit me at about 70 going forwards and just wrote my car off, smashed my drive shaft out. And from that time on, I was like, right, never take your eyes off that bloke.
Goes around, comes around.
That's it. I think he's driving. That bloke is in a. He's in the stretch limo that's in it.
I haven't even seen the stretch limo.
I believe that was plastered all over Facebook too, wasn't it? The stretch limo.
Yeah, I think it was a donation, a raffle car or something, maybe to start with.
Yeah, because they used it for advertisement for a long time for this Derby.
We are
Like the driver family up there used to sponsor it, and they'd always put on like $5,000 prize money sort of thing. So, it was very well. The massive crowds. It was always a huge event.
There it is.
It just went past then.
1,000 miles an hour. I wonder how that thing would bend. Like if it actually, I'm assuming it didn't snap in half.
No, I was sitting there last night thinking I should have got to run up and just hit that at the end of the Derby.
Just see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'd be wanting to hit it in the side to try and banana it.
Yeah, that's right. Mate, if I could find one, I'd take it to Origin just to see what happens.
You'd be a target.
See, this Derby, like it was like everyone was moving, and then it gets to a point, and it's like 80% of the cars just stop.
Well, mate just drove full noise into the back end of you. Did you even see that coming with the way that boot lid's bent?
Probably not. No, if I was going backwards, I could probably still see. I don't like driving if I can't see.
Yeah, it makes it hard. I noticed the bar work that you guys have supports the rear floor on your cars. How does that make the wagons bend?
No, I've never really had any issues with it. Like doesn't compromise anything.
Doesn't make the middle bend at all? Well, stop
No,
metal
I
from
don't
bending?
think. No.
Because I know the Queensland bar work that we're running up here now, the box bar work, it's I think it's really good for stopping the cars bending in the middle in relation to the utes and vans. And I'm interested to see how Magna, whether they, because we've only done it with one Origin Derby, having the wagons in there. I want to see whether it stops them because the Magna wagons, how they start bottoming out and dragging the arse end.
They either bend up or down, eh?
Well, it all depends on whether the shocks in the rear of them. I started doing tech screw through the shocks to stop it from doing it. Because Andy started doing it and then I followed suit. But we basically make it so the tech screws through there, and then when the shocks drop, the whole back end drops down and the front end sticks up like that. So when you're hitting with the front, it just rails people.
We what do? We jack the boot wheel up and give a whack with a sledgy at the top of them on the roof along the pillar side there, and that normally then if you do a decent first hit, it normally bends the right direction.
It's always that first hit.
It is, isn't it? Like it can come straight, it can bite you in the butt for sure.
I think Camry wagons are the worst for it. If you do that first hit wrong, it's just a nightmare. They bend straight to the ground and you drag on the back end. And it's, you got to center punch them things. Awesome for wet derbies though.
I had hassles with that Camry wagon that was chasing me there. That was Kento. that was an off your guts car the year before, but it didn't get onto the track. And every time if I sat still at any time during this derby, like Kendo would just come out of the exit stage left and smack me.
Is Shannon's finished derby now, hasn't he?
Yeah, we might be able to get him back in. Like Ray Tebek, he's the guy I think he's driving a ute in that one. He came down not long ago, and I gave him a car to run down here, and he bought me a Tarago up there to run, and he also bought a Chrysler Voyager, and it's like, oh, now we've got to talk Shannon into coming back up, and we'll have one big last hurrah. Because a lot of the guys I run with we're all about the same stage at the end of our career. Having said that, still buying frigging cars, but anyway.
I've already told you many times you can't retire until you face the beast.
It doesn't matter anyway. Most Derby drivers retire 20 times before they actually give up.
That seems to be the go. From watching everyone over the years, you retire, then you do every Derby for the next 2 years, and then you do every second one for a year, and then you might be able to get your foot out of it.
I retired at one point when I was going to uni. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do these derbies anymore. I retired for like a year. And then when I came back, I was like, I just got a car. It fell in my lap. I didn't have to buy it. And then I come back and won. And then I was like, going to have to keep doing this.
It's very addictive, isn't it?
No,
but there's way worse things to be addicted to.
I guarantee you if I'd lost that derby, I probably wouldn't have done another one. But winning again, I was like, yeah, this is something. I enjoy this. Ooh, I like how he's always had the full track up there. I'd be very interested to see if I just said in Origin that we're going to open up the entire track. Imagine all the mad buggers in the speedway, just full speedway track.
Yeah, and there'll be a couple of people that will use it all.
For the New South Wales team, I've picked some absolute psychos this time. Like I picked psychos last time, but the cars that these ones drive, like I don't know if you've seen, like Peter Holmes is a massive big hitter, always drives panel vans and stuff like that, and Todd Cleal always drives big tanks. Like those boys are going to go psycho. And then you got your Matt Moore from Newcastle, who's a psycho in 380s. Like,
yep,
I'm very interested to see that one. And if I get to run this bloody Tarago in it, I'm keen to see how that thing goes.
Oh, they're great. You can turn your whole bottom of your body sideways, so your feet are pointing to the passenger door in a Tarago. Like there's so much room in it. The only issue I've ever had is that you jump out of them and your knees nearly collapse because they're a little bit higher off the ground.
Oh, the one I've got, like I've had it out the back paddock, and I'm like, this is the fastest like large car I've ever done, and it still turns on a dime.
Yep.
So I don't know how it would go matching up against the utes and vans, whether they'd get stuck inside of it or not, because it's just a lot of sheet metal at the top. But who knows? It'd be something cool to see, especially at Origin on that big track. Imagine full noise into a panel van at Origin.
It'll mention. When I ran the Tarago at Murray Bridge, I went back to back with a couple of people, but I didn't go full noise because I didn't want to fucking hurt them.
That was something that was a benefit for Origin, is that everyone built their cars like tanks. So it was like you just full unleashed on people.
Mm. Yeah, that last car running for New South Wales was like, whew.
Oh, Clint. Oh, the king of the north. What a way to retire, though. Like, if there's ever been a way to finish up, that's got to be it, going down swinging against like 6 Queenslanders. I guarantee if they didn't smash his battery, he would have kept going. He would have fought till the very last.
Yep.
So I'm assuming this is you still going?
Yeah, this is me.
Look at the hearse there, still going. It's blowing some smoke.
Yeah, the motor's working. Nothing else is, isn't it?
I'd say he's dropped the tail shaft. Imagine how long that tail shaft would friggin' be. You're just doing a victory lap here.
Well, no, I go onto the burnout pad and I try to do a burnout. And the car didn't have it left, and she just went and then stalled.
We've got a Can I Sippy attempt here. We've got a Can I Sippy attempt. Queensland number 1 trying to do it.
We got to stop mentioning his name.
This is my favourite. And the guy that comes up to me at the end here is the guy that found me the car. That's Dylan. And he doesn't do derbies no more because of health reasons as well. The one that just runs up and we did this little dance. That's about my favourite celebration at the end of a derby, that one, because of who it was and how it happened. That was also the year that was also the year my tumour came back. So it was like we didn't know, how many more we had in us at that stage, sort of thing. Bit like now.
The derbies like that are the ones that you stay with you forever, though. Like that's a hard derby, and the fact that you won it and then had all your mates around you at the end. That's
And then
that's
the New
brilliant.
South boys, the Northern Territory boys stuffed me up, mate. We went through, they fed 3 full bottles of whiskey and stuff into it. Straight, all been drunk straight. Like, come 5 a.m., I was under a bush in the caravan park. Oof.
That's what it's all about, isn't
I
it?
can't hang with them off the track.
This derby here, I saw you upload the other day. This is probably one of the best South Australian derbies I've seen, and it was still wet as shit, but he's managed to pick up speed regardless.
Yeah, this is at Broken Hill.
It's Broken Hill, is it?
Yeah.
New South Wales.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
how's that for a start?
So you got Kempy in that wagon. Oh, that might be Ash, actually. Kempy might be in the other wagon below it.
Oof. It just
Magna
absolutely
Camry.
destroyed that second-gen sedan by the looks of it.
Yeah. They're the kings of up there, Kempy and Ash. They normally win each one up there.
Kempy in the
This was the
Camry
last
wagon.
time there was a derby there.
We'll see. Broken
I'm not
Hill's
sure
one
what-
that we could definitely work out New South Wales team for.
Yeah.
It's a viable option if we contact them.
We had a bit of an agreement in this derby that we'd do the first 3 hits just back to back on cars. Nobody would do any shots on the fronts. And we put a good show on for the crowd, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of this, at the end of this derby, my wife comes up to me and she's congratulating me, and there's full cans of beer landing around us. And the wife's like, oh, the wife's cracking the shits, and she's picking them up. And we're about to heave them back at the crowd, and I'm like, calm down, they're congratulating us. They're giving me a beer. Like,
I remember how this one finished, mate. I couldn't understand why you needed a beer after it. What is that car? It is just getting hammered.
That's Hayden Gazinski, the guy. That's his first derby. He sent me messages for like 14 months on asking how to build a car, and he finally come to a derby, and this was his first one. So he did all right to come back afterwards, really.
Hayden, when you watch this podcast, mate, I want some photos of your car afterwards. What is that, Honda Civic?
Oh, I can't remember what it was, sorry. If you ask him, all I can remember him saying is, he thinks his car was so underbuilt, and I was just like, it wasn't underbuilt. You just took a smaller car into a bigger derby.
Yeah,
it was a 4-cylinder derby, I think. But
this was?
Yeah, I think they were all 4 cylinders, I think.
There's some decent wax. See, it's not too wet, which is great.
Mm.
Look, that's definitely a Honda Civic sedan. They're the softest things, those Honda Civics. I saw a hatchback just snap in half of one hit. Oop. That's a stuff up old Kempy. that wagon, that Magna wagon's starting to bend pretty decent.
Those 2 white wagons, so they're teammates. And when I went to walk onto the track, I shook Kempy's hand and I said, "I'll see you at the end, bro." So it was like we knew we were going to have a battle during the derby at some stage. But
I just like how Geoff picking on the car that's already completely splattered in half.
Just to see if he can bury him in it.
He's just like, how messed up can I get this car? Poor old Hayden's just trying to see where he's going. What'd you rate the third-gen sedans for the 4-cylinders? Oh, look at that.
Mate, that is the strongest sedan I've used, that one. It was a Verada. And I don't know if they're just a little bit tougher or what it is, but yeah, it didn't bend nowhere near like normal sedans.
Look at that. That thing is absolutely destroyed. The old second-gen Magna sedan, Imagine being the blokes driving past it in the exact same car. You were going, oh, shit. Oh, he's just absolutely splattered himself there too. Who'd you say is in that Magna wagon?
We've got Kempy's in that one, and Ash Staker is in the other.
Ash is putting in some work.
Yeah, he won the last one that we had there, and I came second, and he gave me a sort of a beating, and my car was running real slow. So the shoe was on the other foot in this one. But they always put the hurt on.
There are definitely some serious bends happening in this derby. Look at that.
No tyre touching that ground, is it?
Just put it in drive, mate. Just don't worry
I'm
about
not
reverse.
sure. I'm not 100%, but I think that's Alex Reardon.
That's just mean, Geoff. What are you doing? Just shoving that poor
I
little
know.
car around?
Nearly cost me the derby, didn't it? I was stuck.
He drove halfway in the back seat. How embarrassing would that have been? Oh, mate, there he's just not giving up, is he?
No.
Ooh.
And Kempy helped build most of the other cars that were there as well. So even though they were getting stuck in that, he was hitting them, but he was helping them to keep going. Everyone have as much fun as you can.
I love the paint job on your car. Big skull. Oh, the poor little bugger.
I'll give him one last one here. He's like, okay, gives me a wave. Okay.
Like, piss off.
I'll tell you what, but for that to be your first derby and still show up next time, you know he's got the bug.
Oh,
I know, that's what for years I kept saying to him, mate, you did such a good, it took me years to get a car to bend like that, and you did that in your first derby. It's something to be proud of.
Who was the number 21 there?
Yeah, I think that's Alex Reardon.
No, he's definitely put some work in on that thing. The back of it's absolutely stoved. You can definitely put on a better show when it's a little bit drier.
And they've got different rules up there. You're kind of allowed on the infield, where I'm still driving on the track, but that's because we're all ours. You're not allowed down on that little bit I'm on there. But in this track, you're actually allowed on the infield, and you can do hits off the infield. But most of us were that used to the normal rules, we didn't do it.
Oh, mate, give it up. I think you're done. I think he's got the old Ford rims on that Camry set at the wagon there. So the front driver's side.
I knew she was going to be on from this point. As soon as I hit Kempy, Ash came for me.
2-on-1.
Yep. But I get a bit of luck here, and Ash takes his teammate out.
Oh, Kempy's bloody wagon. He must have had a shit reverse or something like that. He's barely done anything with the back of it. Or in comparison to that thing, anyway.
This is where I get a bit of luck. I'm trying to find a gear, and right at that point, there goes Kempy's drive shaft, right there. Slight little touch from Ash.
It's because he's got that Ford rim on that driver's side wheel. The offset's terrible for CVs.
Oh, it sticks out further.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because what happens is it sticks out a little bit further, so when you're hitting, it's just bending and snap the CV.
And Ash was sort of, these guys are like me. We want to put the show on for the crowd. So when we get situations like this, we always try to, give the signal, let's do a big head on. And that's what we end up we have a bit of a chat through the cars as we're doing hits here.
Still, both front ends are relatively straight too. Oh, I bet that hurt.
That was my biggest hit. That made me see stars. And I actually turned around and I say to the guy, when the hell did you start moving, mate? I thought he drove into me.
He was probably just as shocked as you were.
Yeah, probably.
That sucks when you spin into a car like that because you're half in motion anyway, and then you just jam the crap out of yourself. This will be an interesting finish with the third gen, like straight front end. Well, it's probably not the most strategic move, that one.
No, I was trying to get him to do the head on. He didn't see the signal, and I was like, oh, this just happened. I tried for about 30 seconds to put him into a wall. It doesn't work.
I notice you guys don't pin the bonnets down. Is there a rule against that there? Or
We just chain ours. Yeah, we're not allowed to pin them.
Yeah, so the front ends are so much solider when you've got those bolts in them.
Yeah, like I was saying, this is a Verada, and they seem a little bit tougher in the front
100%.
and the rear.
Yeah, pull off the airflow sensor at the back and throw it on the other one. Problem is all the other stuff from don't actually fit the third gen. So yeah, like BCM and all that kind of stuff if you want to move it over, it doesn't fit unless it's that exact model, and they're a pain in the butt to get, the Verada ones.
So we gave each other the nod back there that will. Oh no, it must be coming up in a second. I've got ahead of myself.
You guys literally park next to each other.
Yeah, I turn around and we go to have a chat, and then I storm my car, and I'm like, oh, it's all over.
I'm assuming you just moved the wiring harness and everything in the cars.
Oh yeah. Back then I used to. It's just run up over the top of the guard. These days I unplug it.
Yeah, so much easier.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a bloody mother's meeting halfway through the Derby.
Yeah, that was when my car stalled, and then he pulled up and he was like, yeah, okay? And I'm like, yeah, we'll do a big head on. So right about here, I'm like, I was about to turn around, and then I'm like, oh no, he's doing a whole lap. So I had the air horns in the car, so I hit that, and they sound and charge.
They're showing off there. He's going, oh, mate, in 10 years' time, I'm going to be on a podcast. I've got to get some footage. How's this for head on? Dunk. Well, you put the brakes on there a little bit for that one.
Both of our motors snapped their mounts, sheared off the oil filter.
Oof.
So then that's all the oil just flowing there. That's the end of the Derby. They call it right there. My car died about now. Like we hit, after. I roll off, he come to a halt. Like that was how close that finish was.
It seems to be a thing with the four cylinders. Those oil bloody filters, they're a pain in the butt.
Yeah. But it's got a lot of hits in before it happens, so you've got to be happy with that.
This is probably one of my favourite runs I've been waiting to review, and I figured you'd be a good one to watch it with. This was Tamworth, back before they banned all the derbies there, possibly because of this. This was the heyday of the kamikazes. Straight off the start, roll over.
You do it so effortlessly. It's like...
Well, that's actually Andy that rolled that one. I don't know if you know Andy Jag.
Yeah, I follow him. I've had him on the friends list at some stage.
So he's in that white wagon. I'm in the blue one with the 55 on the side. And this was a whole different kind of derby. Like it was a full track. We had two old Holdens in it with some of the old boys, had a Valiant in there. And this bloke in that red ute that's on here, you can see I'm getting chased by this Valiant at the moment. But I wanted that bloke in that bloody ute because he was being a dick in the pits. So I eventually catch him. I just had to get rid of this friggin' Valiant first. But that Valiant was Robert Johnson. He was ripping into us for a bit until I got a hold of him. You can see in that top corner there, Andy just drove straight over a car. We'll zoom up there in a second. See?
Yeah, right.
I don't see many of the derbies in South Australia with like agricultural show ones. Do you have many of them?
No. We have the Millicent show, and it's kind of like a exhibition derby. There's no prize money in it. And we're just getting into Keith and Tintinara. They've joined up, and we've had 2 derbies there. The last one, we only had 4 cars there. No one really went and supported it. It's the usual. Everyone's screaming, "We want more derbies, and you organise one, and then hardly no one shows up. So, but the 4 cars that went had a good time.
This is that one that when I finally got a hold of the ute, just fly in there. Someone misses the hit, but you'll see what happens to the side of the ute in a second. I hit him full stick in that passenger door, and have a look. There's no passenger door there anymore.
It just folded it in totally.
Yeah, imagine that halfway through a derby, you just look out and there's just no door. It literally just all smooshed clean into where the dash goes.
I had this battle with this bloke up in Whyalla, and he joined up all the locals up there. So there was like 16 cars that were just chasing me. And in that derby, I lost my door totally. My exterior door bar got ripped off, and I copped 5 more door hits to my door plate.
Oof.
It wasn't until the first red light, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, my mesh has gone off my window. And then I'm like, oh, I'm missing the outside of my door. Like, what's going on? So these days I've actually got a big cross painted on my my door plate in case it ever happens again.
Yeah, I definitely saw that one back in the day. I'm pretty sure you sent me a photo of it. See, this one here was more like the introduction to Magna wagons. This was still in the day when they were driving the old HT Holdens and stuff. So you can see there's like Valiants and old Holdens in this one. This was like the changing of the guards in this area because there was no one drives those old Holdens now because they were just completely outmatched.
Yeah. And what a track, like what an open space.
It's awesome.
It's crazy.
Like I said, this was back in the days of the kamikazes when there was all the Alexander brothers, Andy and myself were just annihilating anyone that was on the track. This would have been an awesome days to have the Off Your Guts team go up against us.
Yep.
I can just picture all the Val wagons and that you guys would have brought down. And geez, it would have been a hard battle.
We used to battle at Murray Bridge with the Williamstown demo crew. And they'd bring like 6 cars and we'd bring 6 cars. And pretty much every derby, we just annihilate each other. No one would get to the podium.
I remember talking to Channon a while ago about that, and he was saying they were some of the hardest hitting boys in those Val wagons, and that'd wind them up.
Yeah.
That's why I like doing these podcasts and stuff like that, because you see a lot of the drivers, but you don't really get to have those proper conversations with them. And at least having something like this, you can go watch these videos back in 10 years or something like that and go, oh, this is when I was chatting to these people. And everyone gets to know who the drivers are. And because obviously when the leaderboard starts filling up with points, you're going to want to talk to the drivers that are winning it and see what they're like. And especially with the South Australian boys, because a lot of the New South Wales boys and Queensland boys haven't derbied against them or wouldn't have the opportunity. And
the leaderboard, I find it fun. The first year, I won the very first derby that year, so I went straight to the leaderboard and just sort of increased from there. This year, this is the first year I haven't won it. This last season gone, this is the first season I haven't won a derby. But I still managed to get on top by the end of the season just by going to all the events and
work.
Yeah, you got to put it in. If you don't go to each one, you can't expect to be there at the end, can you?
If you have a look at the top left-hand corner here, you'll see a sneaky little beastie rollover. See me come up there and watch the Val. Dunk. Woof.
What's that? Is that the third or the fourth one in this event?
This is the second rollover, I think, for this one.
Oh, the other one just went up onto the bonnet.
Yeah, the other one, he just literally skinned the entire bonnet of the car. The crazy part is we don't really have these full massive tracks anymore. Like this was a huge track. It was pretty much full field. The closest I've seen to that is Mullumbimby, which is a derby that I think's probably one of the best in New South Wales because everyone just loves to get out there and rip in. Like there's no one cares and there's no dramas or anything. They don't even charge like your entry fee for if you're traveling. Like they've
That's
never charged me entry fee the whole time. They just like to have the derby put on and we put on a show. I mean, it helps that I've won the last two of them, but
no, there's the one of the best bits about derbies is when the kids come up afterwards and they're drooling over the cars. And I've had a couple of kids come up and ask my autograph at one event, and that was like, whoa, hey, I've made it.
I've had a heap of people getting photos and stuff with me, and I'm like, I can't imagine I look great right now. I've got mud all on my face. And
Give me a sec, boys.
At Keith and Tintinara at the last derby, this couple of Islander blokes from Timor or somewhere around that area, they're coming. He's like, "Can I get a picture of the car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go for it, mate." So he comes up and he grabs my helmet, sticks it straight up.
Hey man, how are you?
Grabs my race suit out, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, no."
he's there ready to begin.
They certainly get excited, some people.
It's one of those unifying sports, I think. Like everyone loves watching a car crash.
That's it, yeah.
And we're lucky to be one of the 3 countries that actually do have demolition derbies. Look at that little Chimera just driving around on the outside. That was Troy Dawes in the Where's Wally cars he used to use all the time. He was in this derby and he was just scooting around the outside for ages. And Andy ends up catching him and just absolutely annihilating him. But he was just in a bad spot. 3 Magnet wagons and you're in a Chimera sedan.
Yeah. I've got a Chimera out the back there with a blown gearbox, and I've got to get fixed so I can finish it off.
Oh, they're such a fun derby car. If you get one with a decent motor, they're near unkillable. Like you can see, I just hit this bloke full noise in the front end, and he drives off here, and then Andy ends up finishing him off. But you look at the hit I put on the front of it. Look how bad that is, and it's still driving.
It's still going.
And then Andy comes through and just murders him. Just donk. I would love to see that bloke coming back into the sport. He was definitely a renegade. Imagine seeing him clash with some of the big hitters you've seen because he's bloody mad.
Yeah, we're talking about big hitters. Like, I'm not the big hitter. Like my team, I'm probably down. There's probably me and my wife. The other lads were the big hitters at the start. I've pulled some good ones off here and there, but like, yeah, my teammates were known for, like, Shannon's hit a wall doing 70 in reverse, missed the target, and that was the very first hit. The whole back of the Magna wagon was 100% straight. It just imprinted the wall.
Ouch.
Oh yeah, the car didn't move for like a minute and 40 seconds. It just sat there blowing smoke, and then all of a sudden it righted itself and took off again.
I'd say Shannon probably needed a minute and 40 seconds to figure out what he was doing either.
Oh yeah, his back's still crooked from that hit to this day. He still blames it.
You can't take those hits and still be fine.
Nah.
This is probably one of the coolest finishes to a derby I've seen. You've probably seen this video 1,000 times.
She's pretty munted, the blue one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and then boom! If that's not the coolest finish to a derby, then I'm not here.
That was the last hit.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Like, fuck yeah.
What a way to finish, though.
Yeah. The 3 of us go and have a few beers after that, or what?
Well, no, because we all had to drive after.
Yeah.
So we travel to a lot of places, but then we literally just drive home straight after. So
Yeah.
except for Origin, I think the boys had some fun in the pits after that. But we're definitely looking at doing that as a more consistent thing of having the parties afterwards, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day, just having fun with the boys.
That's it. A bit of downtime, a bit of socialist.
Yeah.
That's a word.
You can socialise your cars after you smash them. All right. Well, I think we're about an hour and a half in again. The time flies when you're doing these things. I swear. I told you once you started talking derbies that you'd be like, "Oh, well, it's an hour and a half in."
Oh, it was pretty scary at the start with the phone and the internet dropping in and out and it freezing and everything, but it's turned out not too bad, I think.
I'll just quickly get to the end one of this because I got the whole thing on here, but this thing here is a crack up at the end. Have a go at this hit he puts on this Valiant wagon. Oh man, this Val wagon just gets pumped by Geoff. It's just
That's the bloke in that car is my biggest rival. That's Chuka Brooks. We've been battling for years, me and him.
Oh,
when he told me that after the Derby, when they got home and they rolled that car off the trailer, the Valiant broke in half at the firewall.
It doesn't surprise me. Look at the hit, donk. I think there's a photo of that that's like iconic of you just parked clean in his bonnet. Just a big hit.
With the dude's going, damn. And his teammates in that other dude, the Hummer, sedan. Yeah, I'm deaf and I could hear it.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing better than when you hit your rival and that was a clean defeat for what was his name? Chuka
Brooks, yep.
Yeah,
he was in that, and Kenny Cox was in the Hummer. And I spent the last bit of that Derby just going back and hitting between those two cars. One of the hits I did on the Hummer, I winded myself. I'm sitting in the car, all curled up, trying to get breath.
I think there was one you did at the start here where look at that thing. That's a Val sedan, isn't it?
I think that was a Falcon sedan, that one.
Oh, XB.
Yeah. That's my teammate and that other Falcon that just went past, the blue and white one.
There's the start of the arse whooping.
Yeah, the bonnet, she starts bending straight away, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, the chassis on that thing's already started twisting. The valves are solid in the front. Geez, solid in the back, but geez, the fronts are a bit shit. Like he's obviously just rat shit his front. He's probably going to try and head on you here, but his head on the back of your car is probably not great. But you watch
I'd be happy if that's what he did.
Yeah.
They ended up, both them cars ended up, you see the tyres on the edge of the track there, they both had a tractor tyre stuck under their cars at the end of it.
Oh.
So they were just sitting ducks.
Dunk. It's the old commie wagon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my thing of that one was I enjoyed watching that friggin' Val just get absolutely stoved in the front. So just see the whole, like how the American cars just go up like that. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
But before I get too distracted and start watching all of them, I'll
imagine sitting in it and still going. Like,
well,
you'd be looking at the speedway lights. That's all you'd be able to see.
Well, thank you for coming on. Anyway, Geoff, it's been a good one. This conversation's been coming for about a decade, so it's good to finally get to have a chat with you.
Yeah, it worked out well. It's all lined up, and I don't think I made an idiot of myself.
No, definitely not. Well, not that it was recorded anyway, and we can edit those other things out.
or just keep the idiot bits in and then make me look stupider. That's how funny.
Nate, you want to take us out, mate?
Yeah, so just don't forget, next week is a live episode. So it's our first live episode. It's going to be on the 27th at 6 o'clock. So tune in, get ready for that.
Is that the hot chip challenge, the gummy challenge?
Yeah, it's the
yeah.
the gummy bear. So don't
You
forget
votes and
donations are
nuts.
still there.
It's going to be rough.
Appreciate everyone that has donated. We big appreciation for that. Once again, we've got reps now in, the association's based in New South Wales, but we've got reps like Geoff Flack in South Australia. We got Queensland rep Bryce Hack. So reach out if you just want to get involved in derbies or whoever or whenever. Reach out, talk to us. Same with mental health too. If you're struggling with mental health, reach out, speak to someone. Everyone's been through it. Everyone knows what it is. It's very important. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Yeah. And if you want to buy any merch or become a member of the association, go to our website. You go to the shop section. All three of us here are members, so that's good. We're about to get all the shirts and send them out. I think they'll be here. We put the order in today for our gear, so it should be here in a few weeks once they're all ready, and then we'll send them out, and then we'll
All the new gear's looking awesome too, eh? I can't wait to get the new
you
shirt.
should see. One of the cool things I'm really looking forward to getting that Stacks is working on now. You know the hoodies, like the hoodie things.
Yep.
Yeah, we're getting those for with Demolition Derby, like with this gear on it, so that when
I'm
you
looking forward to the patch that goes on the race suit.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
All those things are coming together, which is cool. Get some bloody decent gear out there and get us all moving with it. It's going to be sick. Again, thanks for coming on, Geoff. We'll end it there
worries.
and we'll go. This is probably the longest episode we've had, so it's good.
Thanks for having me, and I'll be watching next week, fellas, with eyes peeled. Have your buckets ready. Have somebody else that can talk, because I don't think you're going to be doing much of it.
It's going to be bad.